What's up, peeps? This is your girl, JQ. You're listening to Valley Sounds on 89.3 Huntsville. I am super excited, ecstatic, almost over the top, like fantabulous feeling right now. I'm feeling super duper special to have, Noel Gourdin live in the studio.
What's happening? I like the intro. That was cool.
That's cool. So let's see if you can go ahead and get that drop on the first time. You ready?
I think I'm ready.
All
Let me
right.
see if I can do it.
Let's do it. Hit it.
Hey, yo, what's shaking, y'all? This here is Noel Gourdin, and I'm with my girl JQ on 89.3 Huntsville. It's Valley Sounds, yeah. We up in here.
That was off the chain, little
Yeah.
mama. That was off the chain, little
Appreciate
mama.
it.
Well, I'm super excited to have you in the studio. And you know what? We're just going to kick this interview right on off. Tell me about this new project that you went #1 on the UK charts with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was something that it came out of the blue. My man Reggie Myrick's, he's out of Philly, and I did a record with him called No Worries off my second album, After My Time. And it was something that where he said it can be really dope. It's organic. He got a lot of a lot of good relationships with DJs and such, and music folk out there, and radio folk. So I kind of have a good rapport with the folks out there already, and they kind of been waiting for some more stuff from me. And so he was like, yo, let's just put together a project and let's do an EP and see what happens. And we released a single out there, and it had 2 records, because out there they like to have an A side and a B side. And we released a record called Lovin' Up, and we released a record called Low Down. So it's kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum that we released, and it jumped in on the charts at number 6, and then it went to number 1. So I'm kind of ecstatic as well. Fantabulous and all that you just said a couple minutes ago, but. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So I'm really excited for where the EP is going to be going. It's going to be releasing out there. I mean, as of right now, we have it as a UK exclusive, but sooner or later, I'm gonna bring something over here, but I'm really excited about it. It's going good.
It's been a minute since you've had a project out, and we've been missing you. Yeah. Why such a long hiatus, and what made you really just bring it on back?
It was, I had some problems with my product manager. And we had to go through the do to get that done. And sometimes things don't work out, and it kind of it was kind of tumultuous the way it ended, and problematic. So we had to do what we had to do for each of us. So I got a little litigious in there, and I had to take care of the business. But sometimes you gotta do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to be. So that's where I'm at right now. So it's I'm really excited about the future, and it's about that time that I come back and put some more of my emotions on tracks.
Well, you know what? Welcome back. I've definitely heard the new Lowdown, and it is off the chain.
Appreciate
and all of your music has been just amazing. I have heard your music from the beginning until now, and the evolution has definitely happened, and you have evolved. Yeah. What do you feel is the difference now in what you put out, and the reason why versus what you did when you very first started with this music?
Yeah, well, I would say, I mean, from my growth, I kind of think a little bit more on records that I'm putting out, because the industry has changed. And, there's a lot of the minimalistic and certain concepts that people are working on now that I've kind of, listened and learned. Because before I got my first deal with Sony, I kind of, had to do some homework on what worked and what didn't. And now I have to do the same thing throughout my hiatus, and went back to the books and listening and opened my ears up, and just got a little bit more knowledge. I try to learn every day in this industry, because if you know everything, this isn't the industry for you. So, I kind of learned and saw what worked and what didn't work. And, that's pretty much been my growth from beginning to where I'm at now.
You are a hometown, local favorite celebrity, really have made it, come from here, went out to there, and have come back. What keeps you coming back to work with the artists that are right here in the Tennessee Valley?
I mean, I always love folks that are hungry. I mean, because they're willing to go above and beyond what other folks that already have and already had success and all of that kind of stuff in the commercial industry. I like it because they're hungry, and they just put the passion and the integrity behind their music and behind their work. You know what I mean? They feel that they have something to prove. And, as we just seen, somebody that's prominent in the industry just said, work like you broke. And that's how, I mean, I like to go at everything that I do. I try to do it as if it's going to be the last thing that I do. And if you do that and you live that way and you put your integrity and your hustle and grind and your love and all of that into your project, then you're leaving behind something that you're proud of.
What's your favorite song that you produced, written, sung, put out there? What's your favorite one?
Wow. I'd have to say Brand New, which was on my second album, Fresh to Definition, because I wrote it. I started writing it in the parking lot of a supermarket, and I worked on the rest of it with my man Kevin Ross, and we put that down. And it was just something where I was in a dark place at that particular time, and it kind of helped me get out of it. After a brotherly intervention, my brother kind of sat me down and was like, look, man, you ain't got no time to be getting in this dark place. You know what I mean? So, that was pretty much the first record that pretty much brought me out of that dark place. And that was the first record that we recorded for that album, Fresh to Definition. And I got to give a shout out to my girl, Courtney Harrell, because she was on The Voice a few years back, and she's just so dope from Boston area, and said, let me help you with this, with the title of the album. And I said I wanted to be named Fresh, and she said, what about Fresh, like the definition? Because that's the definition of fresh, is being reborn and something that's brand new and climbing out of a dark place, and there's no better title. So, yeah.
When you're not doing music, writing, touring, in the studio, what do you do?
I'm a gamer. I like the game, and if I can, I'm playing online with my nieces and nephews and
What's
all
your
that
favorite
kind of
game?
stuff.
What's your favorite?
See, I'm kind of into. I used to be into shooters and first-person shooters and all that kind of stuff, but now I'm into RPGs. I like to get into story elements because I'm a writer in a sense. So, I like the real strong stories and like The Witcher 3 and Skyrim and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I'm not writing, and lately, because a lot of my time has been writing and doing all of the kind of music stuff with different artists and such. So I haven't really had a lot of time to game and all of that. But I always keep an eye on the industry and see what's happening, because it's grown and it's getting bigger and bigger. So I kind of think it's all in the entertainment industry and writing. I'm even looking to get into some voiceover work. So if any of y'all are listening in the video game industry, I could do some voiceover work too.
I got connects on that. Remind me, and I will definitely hook you up, because that's what I'm in the middle of doing right now.
That info, so.
Hey, that's what I'm in the middle of doing right now. Video game. So working with a video game company.
Okay.
You're traveling. You're doing a lot. You're working with a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. What is that writing process like for you?
Well, it's really trying to get into a mind space of every man or every woman. It's just like what I was just talking about a couple minutes ago, and learning what works and what doesn't work and all of that kind of stuff. But you're kind of tapping into something where it's almost like an out of body experience, and you try to write from I don't know, I kind of say from a consumer standpoint, because most of the time we're all human beings and we're all interconnected and we're linked. So, it's kind of vain to think if you have a problem, you're the only one going through it. So you kind of tap into certain emotions and instances in your life and experiences and such, and just try to do it in a way that will, either have a phrase that'll touch folks or something that'll bring them back to say, what, I went through that too, and I like the way you put it together and all of that. So I can see myself listening to this record over and over again. So that's where you try to kind of tap into as a songwriter. You're a story writer.
Do you think you'll ever move past music and maybe do some manuscripts or some plays or maybe even a big film?
Man, myself and my cousins have already been trying to come up with some movie stuff. So, so we've already been throwing around some ideas and such, and trying to put down some stuff for scripts and all of that. And I'm trying, now that I've moved out to California, I'm really trying to step into the acting realm as well.
I was just about to ask you that. Was that next on the ticket?
I mean, it kind of has been. Yeah, it kind of has been. So I'm really excited about, that, stepping into that realm, because I don't really, I know about the music stuff, and I can watch a scene if a director sends me a scene or something like that, or a treatment, and I can kind of write a record and form it and tailor it to that. But, to be able to step in and start acting and bringing that to the silver screen or whatever small screen, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to get my feet wet and step into other, all the other aspects of the entertainment industry.
Awesome. So let's move on to some personal stuff. Mm-hmm. So what's your love life looking like these days?
It's looking pretty good. It's
What?
looking pretty good.
I see your little cutie on the internet. What?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm into a new relationship and it's going wonderfully. Her name's Tanya, and we're in love, and I'm feeling really good about where things are going. She's supportive, and she loves me, and I could tell when someone loves me because she's always there to support me. She's a rock for me, and asking me if anything goes bad throughout my day, and that means a lot to me because a lot of people are only positive reinforcers, but she always also tries to check on me and see if there's any negative thing that she can help me with and all that kind of stuff. So that's what partners do, I think, and I feel like I have a partner.
That's awesome. It's always great when you have angels and partners and support all in the same place,
absolutely.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
What's new? What's big? What's coming up on the horizon for you? What can we be on the lookout for other than just, the stuff from the UK?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm working on I have a single deal right now, and it's right there on the horizon. We're cutting the record, and it's going to be really, really strong. And I got another record that's to follow it up. Now, this is for my U.S. folks because I know they've been seeing me post about UK exclusives.
Yes.
So this is for y'all. It's coming really, really soon, and they are just straight bangers. They're gonna keep you singing the records for the next year or two, and that's a promise. So. On one of the records, it's got a very prominent soulstress on it, and I can't say more than that. But I'm really looking forward to the project. Yeah, it's coming out. We're gonna be pushing it really, really soon. So keep your ears open.
All right. Well, you sent me some music,
Mm-hmm.
and from this music, I'm gonna play one of those songs, which is called "Beautiful." It's one of my favorite songs. How did you bring it to life?
I did that record with, it was on my second album. It was Fresh to Definition, and I did it with Ryan Toby and my man DL that I was signed to Mass Appeal. And it was just something because there was a lot of music at the time, and still is right now, that are really calling women out their name and condescendingly talking about women. And, this was kind of an apology. And we wanted to put it out and kind of say sorry for doing this and calling you this and not treating you as you should be treated and call you beautiful a lot more than you hear it now. So, it was something that we thought needed to be put out.
Yeah, I like the song because, again, it does have a great positive message. Right. And then coming from a male, when women hear that coming from a male, it just makes us feel different. Other than us telling each other, but coming from a male to know that we still are those things in your eyes and all the things that you were talking about in the song. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Noel Gourdin in the studio, and let's listen to Beautiful. Noel Gourdin, Beautiful. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I have this dude in the studio, and he's been correcting me the whole day about his name. And so let's get it right now.
Yeah, it's
Tell
Noel.
me right now. It's Noel.
Yeah, it's Noel, and the last name is Gourdin.
Gourdin. Ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Noel Gourdin. We got it right. We got it right. I bet you get a lot of people that enunciate your name incorrectly.
Oh, man, I got to tell you about one story. It's going to be quick, but I was doing the Essen Festival one time, and it was right. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but it was that time when New Orleans had the hurricane. And that we couldn't do it in New Orleans, so we did it in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And this brother, I was about to go up on stage, and he was like, I said, all right, so my name is Noel Gourdin, all right? He was like, I got a young brother. I've been doing this for 20 years. He said, all right, so he said, coming to the stage, Noel Gourdin. I was like, yo, you messed up both names. But that was just a little story that folks, what I've been dealing with in the industry, but it's funny, man. I mean, sometimes I got to laugh it off, but it's all right.
I feel you on that note. I feel you. I get that a lot too. JQ, Jaquan, they want it to be something super fancy.
Oh, I know you must get a whole bunch too. That's crazy.
We are. Noel, it's really been great having you in the studio. Thanks for dropping by. And I tell you guys, this was like a last minute interview. Yeah. He was in the city. He called me up. He was like, hey, I'm going to be in the city. Can we do it? And guess what? We made it happen, brother.
We made it happen. And I appreciate you for having me. I really do appreciate you for taking the time. I know you're a busy woman. And, I really appreciate the time.
Oh, man, I appreciate you for thinking of me and giving me the opportunity to sit you down and have you on the mic.
Got you. We all we got.
So we all we got.
For each other.
So the last song that I'm going to bring to you is something that I'm allowed to play, even though, it's not the one of my favorites, but it's called Patient. Tell me about Patience.
Patience was a record I did with Marcellus Dawson on my last album, City Heart Southern Soul. And, it was just something that I love that old 60s and 70s feel, and I love me some Temptations. So this kind of reminded me of the Temptations. So I kind of went at it. I tried to, in a David Ruffin way. I tried to do him proud. So it's kind of crazy. I stopped before I got on a plane one time and got an idea for this and sat down. I said, could you allow me to board as late as I can without being left behind? And
Stop.
he was like, yeah.
Do not tell me it just did that. Let's see if I can undo. Do not tell me it just did that.
Just stop.
It did. Oh my God. Two.
Where to stop?
Check one, check two, check one, check
Also, I
two.
didn't get none of it?
Oh my God. Digital stop.
That's not the whole interview. It's just the last segment.
I don't know. That's what
Check one, check
I'm
two.
checking.
Check one, check two.
No, that's just the, because I got the first
Oh,
one.
that you just said a couple minutes ago.
Okay. Okay, let's just go here, JQ.
That's how we be in the studio when we cutting
I know.
and stuff goes away. Be like,
I'm
hold
like,
up,
oh
hold
my
up.
God.
I'll be in the booth
Hold
like you
the
say
freak
that,
up.
right? You say
What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Hold up.
Check one, check two.
Oh no, it's here.
That was Noel Gourdin. Beautiful. And let me tell you something,
Right,
ladies.
so where we
and
leave
gentlemen,
off,
I have
'cause I
this-
can
That's
pick it up
going
right now.
me
It's
too.
not the one of my favorites, but it's called Patient. Tell me about Patience.
Patience.
Okay, so we're just going to start right there where you get to tell us
It's
about
not the one
patience.
of my favorites, but it's called Patient. Tell me about Patience.
Patience was a record I did with Marcellus Dawson on my last album, City Heart Southern Soul. And, it was just something that I love, that old 60s and 70s feel, and I love me some Temptations. So this kind of reminded me of the Temptations. So right there.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me make sure it's running. No, it's not. Okay. Check one, check two.
Check. So I tried to come through with my best David Ruffin almost impersonation. I tried to do David Ruffin proud on this record, and it's kind of crazy because I got the idea to write the verses right before I was boarding a plane to go somewhere for a show. So I asked the attendant, and I was like, can you allow me to sit down real quick and try to get an idea off before we leave, and just make sure you don't leave me, but let me know how late I can get on. She was like, cool. So I sat down and wrote the verse and all of that kind of stuff. But that record is memorable because it's got that vibe, that old school vibe, and I dig that. The old soul, that Detroit feel.
Yeah, it's real cool. It's like you said, it's one of those kind of things, those kind of songs that make you want to just bop-de boppity boppity bop. So ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in. Noel Gourdin, and this is Patience.
It's coming really soon, so keep your ear to the ground, and all my folks on the social medias, make sure you get in touch with me. At Noel Gourdin on Instagram and Twitter, NoelGourdin, and on Facebook. Hit up my band page, give me a like and a follow. It's at @the_real_Noel_Gourdin. So check me out.
All right, well, introduce and close us out with your last song, Noel.
Well, this record right here is one that went #1 on the Urban AC chart on Billboard and stayed there for 15 weeks. We actually broke Aaliyah's record. So this record right here went #1, and it's called The River. Check it out.
This is your girl, JQ. You're listening to Valley Sounds on 89.3 Huntsville. Thanks for listening. That's it, baby.